Okay, now let's look at the problem number 53. A student throws a set of keys vertically upwards to her sister, who is in a window 4 meters above. The second student catches the keys 1.5 seconds later. In part A, with what initial velocity were the keys thrown? And in part B, what was the velocity of the keys just before they were caught? Okay, now 4 meter, 1.5 second. Okay, let's clean up this one. So the key is here. Okay, then it was, let's say, it was thrown with velocity v initial, okay, upwards. Okay, then at a certain distance, which is delta y, is equal 4 meter. Her sister catches up the ball. Okay, so that means here we will have v final, right? She catches up the key after delta t is 1.5 seconds. So let's find the initial velocity and what was the final velocity just before she caught the ball or key. Okay, we have to know a couple of things before solving such a problem. First of all, we know that our acceleration due to the gravity, which is pointing downwards, right? We see that our velocity is pointing positive y direction. So in order to solve such a problem, you have to always keep in mind a coordinate system. This is positive x and positive y. Whatever is opposite will be negative. Then we also know that the formula to find such a problem, so we have to use this formula, which is delta y is equal v initial time plus at squared over 2, right? Since we know that g is opposite, then we have to replace this formula by delta y is equal v initial t minus gt squared over 2. Okay, our g here is equal 9.8 meter per second squared. So here let's find v initial. Delta y plus gt squared over 2 divided by time will give you v initial. Now if you plug the numbers, then you should get that your v initial should be equal to 10 meter per second. Now let's find the final velocity. The final velocity can be found by this formula. V final squared is equal v initial squared plus a delta y, but since in the case of a it's negative g, so we can say v final squared is equal v initial squared minus g delta y. Then from here you just have to find v final, which is square root of v initial squared minus g delta y. So if you plug the numbers, then you will get that your final velocity is equal 7.8 meter per second.